Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you? It has been 3 weeks. Three! Ugh. I thank you. We got another subscriber, so thank you to you for joining our dysfunctional, awesome, healing, and beautiful journey. My name is Tanya. I like to post videos. Oh my gosh, I try once a week, and I was doing so good for so long. But we're human, right? um, I do have an Instagram, same thing, Beautiful Recovery, but it's Beautiful Recovery 28. If you want to go give it a follow, I try to post at least once a day. Um, just like my personal journey with recovery, addiction, healing, anxiety, depression, and just a sprinkle of motherhood, which is actually just a downpour of motherhood because it's the greatest journey of my entire life. But all through the lens of a Christian and just a broken person trying to live this life, loving Jesus and growing and walking out my salvation. So there's that. I pulled it up just a second ago. Hold on, I gotcha. Pulling out my phone. Okay, when was this? February 28th. I posted a picture on Instagram called Interrupt the Relapse. And it was after a really awesome conversation with my mentor, who actually baptized me the first time. Hey, Rob, what's up? And he really challenged me because I'm just going through another layer of healing. It's like the closer I get to Jesus and the deeper I get in my recovery, the more I'm like, oh, like I just fall so short. And that's not a bad thing. I know our world says, like, we're so great, just be who you are. And that's true to an extent. But it's also a really beautiful thing because it's showing me like I just have a lot of work and I'm never gonna fully arrive, and that's great and that's okay. And it's very humbling. But yeah, I just really had to sit down with the Lord in prayer, and I was like, God, like there's some addictions that I have had for a really long time, and I've talked about them and talked about them, and it's like, goodness. And I've kind of been open about it, but I haven't really gotten kind of raw about it. But I am the heaviest I have ever been in my entire life. And it is extremely shameful for me. I just feel so overwhelmed. And let me get this straight because I know we're very much in a body positive area, whatever. And I know we're very much in a size doesn't matter. But for me, in my journey, I do not like the way I feel. I don't like the clothes I have to wear. I don't feel confident. And yes, self-love and confidence is an internal job, but I like decorating it, and I really had to wear a lot of baggy sweaters, and I just spend a lot more time focusing on trying to hide it and distract, and instead of just nourishing it and taking care of it, right? Um, but then health. My dad passed away October 14th from cancer, and my mom survived breast cancer, and my maternal grandfather ended up having diabetes and a stroke, and my maternal grandmother had heart disease, and my paternal grandfather had COPD and just a couple other issues, and there's just not a lot of good health stuff looking forward for me if I keep this up, right? But then third, like I had said originally in the beginning of this video, just through the eyes of a Christian, like we are given this body to steward and to love and to honor and protect, and like we're only given one, right? Like we talk about like You only live once. YOLO was really big for a while. And like, true. And I think that is not a terrible mindset. Sure, if it's just to do anything ridiculous and live with no consequence, absolutely, that's a terrible idea. But to realize, like, yeah, I only do live once. Like, I need to stop abusing my body, right? Um, like I want to be able to go hiking and biking and run and inspire. And if God calls me somewhere else, I don't feel this way. I genuinely don't. I do feel called to preach, but if he does call me to a different area, like, what am I going to, like, my body might not know how to respond, right? And then obviously Judah, what am I teaching him? Like, I'm not teaching. I love my family and I love my friends and I love my environment. But I am repeating some patterns that were kind of taught. And now, obviously, I'm a grown woman. It is my choice to live this way. But I don't want Judah to see it. I'll stay there. That's all. I don't want Judah to see it. But then also the final point, and this is kind of leading up, is I'm not eating to nourish my body, right? And I'm not eating, because I'm bored sometimes. I am eating to numb. I'm just going to say it, to numb. I know if I eat certain candy or if I make my coffee a certain way, I will be high as a kite. I will be hyper. I'll be able to sustain throughout the day. And like, I personally have never done cocaine, but I could obviously, I guess, compare to it, where it just helps me focus. It helps me do things for a very long period of time. And I've really been challenged lately about a lot of identity stuff and a lot of, like, what am I representing? Like, what am I showing out? And I don't even, it's not that I don't know who I am, because I do. I know who God says that I am. I know who I am made to be. I am loved. I am valued. But like, I'll put it this way. When I first got sober off of alcohol, if you knew me, you knew this. I always had a drink with me, whether it be a huge coffee, a slushie, a water bottle, something. I was just always like this. It was just forever there in my hand with a straw. And it was like, I would just nervously like this, And I sat there and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know who I am without a drink in my hand. And I know that sounds like so dramatic, but for me, that's what it was. And I don't know if I know who I am outside of hyperactivity, outside of caffeine, outside of sugar. Like, I really think over half of me is made up of just sugar. And like, I'm going to hopefully get to the interview process. I have an amazing, talented genius. This woman is just such a powerful woman, Rhonda, that I want to just pick her brain. She tells me all the time, Tanya, the center of a cancer cell is sugar, right? And I know that's obviously, we talk about that scientific research, but I can't wait for you to hear her and her perspective and how her personal story of healing just really led her to a journey of health. So anyway, it's like a couple things. Identity. Am I actually a calm person? I have no idea, because I am just so on this journey of just hyperactivity, right? Breaking all addictions. How many times over the past, I don't know how many years, have I given up sugar or caffeine? None of you can know, because I don't know. It's a gazillion. That's just my number. And I do it for a little while and I feel great. And the detox is brutal. Headaches, crying, body aches. Like, it's just a mess. But then here I am again. Come on. Are you kidding me? Like, that's full-blown addiction. Just constantly relapsing. I don't even need to use quotation because it is what it is. It is a relapse, right? Like, I say I'm going to give something up. And that's causing me harm that I am completely dependent on, and I always go back to it. I really do. identity, addiction. But then, right, the whole health aspect. It's really bad. It's really bad. And obviously the more weight you carry on, like the more your organs have to work, the more your lungs, which is an organ, has to work. Breathing is like really not awesome right now. I just really don't feel good. I don't know how else to describe it. I just don't feel good. And so if you saw the picture on my Instagram, it's cheesecake. And first of all, one of my coworkers is the devil because here's the piece they cut. And the best part about it was that was the second time that happened. And I get it. If you want a small piece, fine. Cut it in half. I'm working on forgiveness and I'm working on OCD. It's fine. I'm fine. But anywho. And it was kind of a lead up of what this video was going to be about. And I definitely think this topic could be with anything. I'm really working on my budget right now. And I didn't realize how much I just flippantly spent until I didn't. Right? I had a budget. I love Dave Ramsey and I love his envelope system and I love all of that. But I had this free money pocket. And it was like, girl, you don't got it like that. You really don't. But just whatever your addiction is, it could be money, it could be eating, sex, porn, drugs, drinking, whatever it is, there is a moment, and I'm obviously not a scientist, I'm not a specialist, I'm not a psychologist, this is my experience, where I have this moment where it feels like I can't stop, right? Gambling. I'll just use it as an example. March 30th, it'll be a year I have no gambling. And I remember driving, the day, right? I'll remember the day and I'll be like, oh, I'm so stressed. I just want to go. I just want to just unleash, just whatever. I'll just go. So on my way up there, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to the casino. Or it wasn't so bad when I had Judah. It was really, really bad when I was 18 or 19. So this is when I'm talking about this, 18 or 19. Driving up to the casino, and I'm kind of like, okay, and I had a system. I went and got a Red Bull because why not? And then stopped and got a snack, and the whole time I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Pulling into the parking lot, why am I doing this? Putting the money in the machine, why am I doing this? On the way back, why did I do that? I didn't want to do that. And just the shame and the guilt and the anger and the self-hatred, why did I do that? And I'm kind of not necessarily specifically talking, pause. My eyebrows are so uneven, I feel. But I'm on my mom's computer with a lamp behind me. It's a cheap little setup. It's fine. I'm not necessarily talking about drug addiction because I feel like there obviously is a neurological change. There's a physiological, yeah, girl, change that happens in your body. And I have not done cocaine or heroin and the dope sickness. I'm not going to talk about that because I have no personal experience with that. However, in most of the areas of my personal addiction, I've had this moment where I'm like, I don't want to do this. And it's an argument in my head of but you're going to do this, right? And it's the addict self versus the sober self saying, I don't want to do this. Well, you're going to. I don't want to do this. You're going to. And it's but I have a skill set. I have things that I want to do. And then it's kind of but you know how this is going to feel once you do it. You know that this is going to feel good or you know that this is going to gratify you in some way. And it's shh. Stop. Interrupt the relapse. I'm not having it today. I'm not doing it today. And that I want to cry because I'm so angry at my addict self. That my addict self has tried to convince me to do so many things and just so much obsession, so much irritation that sometimes I just do it to shut up the addict mindset where I'm fine. But I don't have to think about it anymore. Fine. Stop. Right? And some of you are going to think I'm absolutely insane. But if you have encountered anxiety, depression, or addiction, worry of any kind, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Do I hear voices? No. And if you do, I love you. I respect you. I appreciate your journey, and I'm praying for you. But I don't. And that voice that I'm talking about is myself. I am arguing against myself. You know, I just wrote a paper for school, and it was like a self-evaluation, and I labeled it like overcoming my biggest obstacles to success. Something like that. I don't forget the fancy title, but it's me. I'm it. I'm the problem. I can be my greatest advocate, or I can be my worst nightmare. And I just really not only need to love and have grace and have patience for myself, but I need to have more discipline. I need to tell that bratty internal child, that's enough today. You are done. And I do it with Judah. There are times where that kid is just carrying on. And I look at him and I'm like, buddy. And I comfort him. I love him, And sometimes I'm like, are you done? Are you done? And I look at him and I'm like, listen, you have a choice, friend. It is not what you want. We're not going to Chuck E. Cheese today. We're not. Sorry. We're not. But you can sit here in this house with a positive attitude and make the best of all the toys that you have, of the home that you have, of the mama in the kitchen that you have. Or you can sit here on your own with a bad attitude and carry on and all sorts of a hot mess that you are right now. What are you going to choose? Because carrying on isn't going to get you Chuck E. Cheese. What is your choice? But I don't do that to me, right? Tanya, you're not getting the eighth piece of pie. You're not doing it today. You're not going to go out and hang out with those questionable people. You're not going to gamble today. Whatever, you're porn. You're not going to watch that porn movie today. You're just not doing it. And you're either going to sit here. Oh, I'm preaching. I got my hands out. You're either going to sit here and fight this with a positive, strong tenacity and say, God, I can't do this today, and I don't know what to do. And you're going to sit in prayer. You're going to reach out to a friend. Or you're going to sit here and have a bad attitude. But we're not doing this today. Whatever that is. We're not doing it today. And I need to do that to myself, right? As I'm walking into these things saying, I don't want to do this. Then don't. Stop. And I need to be okay stopping. And that kind of goes back to what I had said about the energy drinks and the sugar and the caffeine. Like, that doesn't help, first of all. Hello, anxiety and racing thoughts and not being able to sleep well. Whatever. But just be. It's okay to just be. And so there's an empty space. Excuse me. When you interrupt a relapse, right? Mindset, relapse. We interrupt it. And there's a fork in the road, right? You're either going to relapse or you're not. But there's a space and time. When you can say, okay, I want to relapse, but I don't. What am I going to do? And it's okay to sit there and not know. It's okay to sit there and delay the gratification, right? I very much have a toddler inside of me that does not understand delayed gratification. If you have been around Judah and I lately, homeboy is testing the mama. It's literally like, and I know this is a Christian YouTube channel and this episode is from 100 years ago, but everyone knows Family Guy. Mom, Lois, mom. Judah. That's Judah right now. Oh my God, for the love of the Lamb. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't get that Judah, he doesn't understand really the concept of time, or that he doesn't understand that I said, okay, I will hand it to you when we park the car, Well, to him, okay, then park the car. I don't understand. Like, but he doesn't know that, like, I'm in dead stop traffic on 87 trying to get home from work. So you know what I mean? And so that's the concept that I'm talking about, where there's a little kid inside of me that doesn't understand that, like, okay, you want to relapse, right? And you're in relapse mode. It's okay to wait. There's a lot of people do this. I think it's more Dave Ramsey, but I'm not sure. Sleep on it. When you want to make a purchase that is pretty decent, and decent size is different for everybody. For me, it's like $30. I think that's a ton of money. Sleep on it. And wait 24 hours, right? And obviously in some addictive things, that's hard, right? I remember when I all first got sober, there was two things that come to mind. I literally sat on my hands. Like, more often than not, I was like, okay, like, we're not moving, or I would lock myself in my parents' basement and be like, not going anywhere today, because I can't promise you it's going to be a good choice. And I had a lot of amazing people that would walk around Walmart, 24-hour Walmart in Clifton Park for, oh my God, till like 5 a.m. Just because they were like, okay, we're going to distract you. Like, we're just going to get you out of this. But then I also had a sponsor who I was just a brat. Nothing she said mattered to me. I did not care. I just wanted to use so bad. And she's like, fine, I'll buy you your first shot. And I was like, no, not ready. And she's like, okay, so you really don't want to use, or you really don't want to drink today. And I was like, no, I don't. And she's like, okay, are you done being brat? And I was like, yes, and I think I just need to have those moments again. Like, if I'm honest, and this is prideful, and this kind of goes against a lot of what I like preach and talk about, is, I was kind of riding the coattails of my early recovery. And I felt like I had a lot, like, locked, like, I 9 years clean, or I, I don't know, like, had been a Christian for 9 years. Like, I, like, got these, like, on my Girl Scout sash, I, like, got these things, I'm like, cool, right? Ew, I just did a middle-aged dad thing. I'm a mess. I'm going to be 30 this year. Lord, pray for me. Oh, God. Okay. And a lot of you might not know this, but a lot of you do. One of the things I started doing with my ex-husband was we smoked weed. And some people don't see that as a relapse. I personally do. I do not change my clean date because that wasn't my drug of choice. And it did not negate all of what I had learned or processed, and gotten away from. So that's my personal journey. But like, I had a love addiction for a while. I had, a gambling addiction. So I don't know where I thought I had earned that pride from, of like, I got this, I think I'm all awesome. And I think, it comes with a little bit of that public eye kind of thing. Is, a couple people started seeing me as an inspiration or as a mentor. I started sponsoring people, and it's kind of like, and like, pride unchecked will make you fall. And I don't say this pridefully, it's true. Like, I haven't fallen in any, like, what for me, are great areas, like strong areas. I mean, caffeine is definitely a pretty ridiculous area at this point, but I guess in a sense, I haven't lost anything dramatic outside of like $5 a day for like a lot of days. But yeah, so I feel so blessed that God is like punching me in the neck, kind of, and saying like, okay, stop, we're done, you're in timeout. You know what I mean? And I think my mentor Rob, and I think Rhonda, and I think all the people at Celebrate Recovery, like, I'm just in a really broken but like awesome spot. And I know the quality of this video is weird. I know it's kind of all over the place, but it had been 3 weeks and I really just wanted to get a video out. But I really felt a creative block, if that makes sense. I'd started school last week, and just mommyhood and work and Celebrate. And then I started babysitting. I just really needed a minute, and that's all right. I don't know why I yelled that. Yeah, I just needed a minute, guys. And so I thank you for all of your love. I thank you for all of your support. I'm going to link my Instagram, my email. If you If you want to talk to me, please connect. Again, I am not a professional, but I have some experience. I have some brokenness. But I also have some healing. And we serve a good God. We serve a loving God. And He has done so much for me that I just can't hold it in. I just want to share it. I just want to love. I just want to bless others, and I have a couple really important people to me that aren't Christian, that are very different faiths than I am, that walk very different lives than I am, and I love them and I care for them. And these people have called me on. They've called me out. They've called me on. And I just want to say thank you to you. I want to thank you that although we live very different lives and claim very different faiths, the love and respect and honor is there, and I thank you for that. But if you want to reach out to me, if you want to talk to me, feel free to email me and connect with me on Instagram. Guys, I love you. I am praying for you. And I'll talk to you soon.